Hello everybody, we will have a look at this knife. It is the very new Bravo One from Pohl Force. I had actually already discussed his bigger brother, the Pohl Force Alpha One. Meanwhile it's already in the third generation, which is by far my most beastly knife. Actually I rarely buy this kind of knife, but this one is so incredible that it brings a stupid grin to the face of everybody who holds it in his hand. As big, because it's actually really for professional use. This is an extreme survival folder. There's also a tactical one which the German army uses, and because in a professional usage typically these kind of knives are used with gloves, and that's also a reason why it's so big. Notice also the very clever design. Actually I explain all the details in a separate video. Before I go in more detail about this one, well, there is a small intermezzo, because I was able to talk with Mr. Dietmar Pohl, the Pohl Force owner and also the chief designer, about this knife. So I'm here with Mr. Dietmar Pohl from Pohl Force, who is actually especially interesting here, launching his new knife, the Bravo One.
Okay, thanks. This is the all-new Bravo One knife. That's actually the smaller version of the Alpha 2 knife. The Alpha 2 knife is a full-size service knife, and it's not very suitable for everyday carry, but it's a magnificent service knife. But if you want to carry a knife every day, of course you need a smaller knife. So therefore we designed the smaller Bravo One, and the Bravo One weighs just 100 grams.
That's good.
It's a very, very light knife, and it's, matter of fact, it's a real pocket knife. Due to the size, it's a real pocket knife. You can carry it inside your pocket, but also with the clip you can fix it on your belt or on your pants without any problems. And it still has all the features of the Alpha 2 knife, the lockback system, the reinforced glass fiber handles, the liners.
It's around 3.5 inches, I think, the blade, around 8 centimeters or so?
The blade thickness is now 3 millimeters.
Yeah, but I mean the length, yeah, 3 millimeter thick, and this is 8 or so?
8.3.
8.3, okay.
8.3 centimeters. So this is legal in most European countries, because you also have no chance to open it with one hand, because there's no thumb stud on it. But of course, for the people who are permitted to carry legally one-hand opening knives, we have also the Bravo One Survival Edition with thumb stud, so you can open it easily with one hand.
Alright.
Matter of fact is that we do have two versions, like I said. A service model is black Teflon coating on it. The steel is now D2 instead of the 440C steel of the Alpha 2 series. The Rockwell hardness is 61. And the black one has also the serration of the back of the blade. And the outdoor version has a stone washed finish.
Yes.
And is of course with a plain edge.
Very cool.
And the knife comes along with a nice collector's pouch, like the Alpha series. And but next, instead of a patch that comes along with the knife, now we have a key tag. And of course, the knife comes again with certificate, with everything, and also with a sample bag of tough cloth with it to give the blade a little bit more rust protection, because it's D2 steel.
Fantastic.
And of course the all-new Pohl Force sticker.
Okay, thanks. So welcome back. So Mr. Dietmar Pohl explained quite a bit already about this knife. Indeed, the Pohl Force Alpha One, meanwhile the Alpha 3 in a slightly refined version, is a bit big for everyday carry, and that is why actually indeed the Bravo One is quite an interesting alternative for you could say general outdoor use. And while it looks really like a scale model of the big one, and indeed it still looks pretty tactical, you would say. Usually I don't buy very tactical designs, but I really like the purposefulness of the big one, and this small one has the same actually. And a lot of what applies to the big one applies to this one as well. It's in fact supremely competent, very well made, and still available at a reasonable price, because A, it's made in Taiwan, but up to a really high standard, and B, it uses D2 steel, which is almost stainless, you could say, steel, which is very hard, 61 Rockwell, so it's very high performing, but it's still cheaper than some of the more hyped steels, you could say. Similarly, also the handle is reinforced glass fiber, kind of Zytel, I think, which is perhaps less hyped than G10, but it does the job really well. So a really compact knife for various outdoor use. 100 gram, Mr. Pohl said it already, so very easy to carry. 3 mm thick blade, 8.5 cm almost for the blade, and with this particular foam you can hold it in different ways, like this, or very close, or even closer for really, if you need to be do really precise cuts. So it allows for different grips, so that's quite good actually. Also here the hole here, it helps actually if you would accidentally depress the back lock, that you do not hurt your fingers actually. Now with this dent here, which Spyderco also often has, it is actually very difficult to accidentally do that. Notice here, this is not really the classic sharper jimping, but rougher, but it really helps for a really good grip. I actually like really this indent for the close grip. D2 still very high performing, and the blade geometry, it's actually somewhat hollow, I think, or is it straight from the, well, from almost the top. It actually is very capable. Even the big one, which was a beefy blade, was a surprisingly good cutter because of that very clever blade geometry. Notice what comes in the box: the certificate signed by Mr. Pohl with the matching serial number that he checked this, which is nice. He already showed the keychain, well, which can be fun. The nice pouch. And also incredible, I would say the big one had that as well, a very impressive manual, very detailed actually, about different ways of holding the knife, of what to do if it's dirty, and so really amazing actually. Because it wasn't maybe not so clear in the video, this is the one that I have, the auto version, in principle two-hand opening because of German legal reasons. Here is the one-hand opening with version with the thumb stud, and but it comes also always with the black blade and serrations. Now I actually discovered that with some goodwill, actually you can actually open it with one hand, because there's so much blade exposed, and pressing your thumb against it, you can open it with one hand. It's perfectly symmetrical, so you could do it with the other hand as well. What else? It's a tip up carry clip, you can move at the other side should you wish. This here, the lanyard here, is of flex cord, and very cleverly, like the big one, you can actually string it through, so that, and look here with the big one, so you can actually knot it in a way that holds your hand, which can be practical for not to lose the knife when you really need it for heavy work. Also, just like the big one here, the hollow pivot screw, and here the one at the back, you can actually tighten or open them with simply a coin. It's a big normal screw actually. And also here these screws that hold everything together, you can simply adjust them with normal screwdrivers, or open a knife, so which makes servicing very easy if you should ever need it, because really it feels tremendously stable actually. But what you always can have with backlocking knife, if they can really get dirty, there is some dirt here but in the locking part. If you cannot clean it this way, then well, okay, you might need to open it. So really I think, well, it's very purposeful, very clever actually. I would like here simply to show, because Mr. Pohl, he actually is a very experienced designer, and in the past he mainly made designs for Boker. This is this small turbine 2 that I also already discussed, which is also lovely modern EDC. but you see the Bravo one is bigger. Definitely it's bigger, and it is also more sturdy. The Boker is a very good general light weight knife, very universal, almost gentlemanly you could say. This is really for outdoor use indeed. But yes, I think especially in the European market they are priced very competitively compared to imports. That's why I really think you should check it out. Goodbye.